and I was thinking about it some more as I was playing, and I figured out what the visuals remind me of in terms of like the quality level, because it's kind of that weird position where it doesn't quite feel like a PS1 game, but it doesn't quite feel like a PS2 game either. It's like that weird in between, and I realized it reminds me of like a 3DS game in terms of its visuals. Like if you blew up a 3DS game's visuals, although I think the 3DS game's visuals typically look a little bit better in person, especially because of the fact that you have the 3D effect, whereas this one, doesn't have anything like that. Still, plays pretty reasonably. Um, I did get to, well, I should back up first. Um, so I got to do like a strike, which is a normal 3-player match made activity. It's something that's in Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. Normal activity. This is the first time that I had an opportunity to do that, and that's not the footage that's playing right at this moment, but I'll get to that here in a little bit. But before I got to that, I unlocked some more characters and started to come across some of the monetization issues that are definitely going to be gross. So, I mean, obviously, you get like certain resources each day that you can use those resources to upgrade weapons and upgrade your character and things like that. And then you also have the opportunity to draw for other characters. And, of course, these different characters have different types of weapons that they can use, because each character, which I wasn't entirely sure of last week, but I'm aware of now, each character has a set loadout of the types of weapons they can use. You can change weapons within that type. So, like, for example, the character you start off with is essentially a hunter class, and the weapons that they have available to them are auto rifles, so automatic rifles, and um, heavy grenade launchers. And then, like, another character will have handguns hand cannons, and which are just like basically big revolver type guns that hold a lot more rounds than revolvers. So basically, just like big beefy handguns. And then I think the other weapon they have is a rocket. No, rocket launcher. And then there's another character you get, which is actually like a younger version of one of the characters from Destiny 2, or well, Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. That's essentially a warlock, and she has a like a smaller grenade launcher, a, like a tube grenade launcher, and then fusion rifle. So, all that being said, basically it's just you're limited to specific weapon types for each character, and then you can get weapons that fit within those archetypes that the character can use, but you can't, like, on the character that uses auto rifles primarily, they can't use hand cannons, and so on and so forth. So, but the thing about this monetization, though, is that there's these characters that you can only get by drawing them, and you get a limited number of like free draws per day, and then after that it immediately asks you if you want to purchase silver, which is the in-game currency that you purchase with real money in order to buy some of these loot boxes that give you a chance to get it. And of course the percentage chance is like 1% to get these characters. So obviously I didn't buy any. I'm not going to buy any, but it's just like, yep, I see what they're going to do here, and I think it's going to be very successful for them. It's horrible, but I can see how it would be successful for sure. But going into the strikes, so I'll probably have to mess around with the footage in editing, but strikes seem to run about as well as I would expect a strike to run. It's 3-player match-made activity, and it seemed to work just fine. Like I was pleased with how well it ran. I'm still not sure that the game is actually getting 60 frames per second at all, but like in terms of playing a mobile game, it's not bad. Like I thought that was fine. It's definitely a situation though where this is not the kind of game that I could see myself playing all the time, and in large part just because of the fact that my only ability to actually play this would be if I can't play it at work because my work network blocks the connection to that server, to these remote servers. So it's like, okay, well, I can't do anything with that, so I can play it at home. In which case, if I was at home, I would rather just be playing Destiny 2 if I was wanting to play Destiny. Or I can play, if I'm remote somewhere else, like if I'm visiting my in-laws or something in Wyoming, I could do that. And I could see myself potentially trying out playing that way, because it would definitely be better than trying to like remote play from my PC at their house where the internet is terrible and everything else. But yeah, I don't really have any other thoughts on that. I just basically I think that it's interesting enough to where like I could see myself at least playing it here and there, but much like with Destiny 2, I'm not really sure if it's something I would stick with when I feel like I'm just having to reinvest time into something that that I'm just not that invested in, if that makes sense. So let's see here. I guess there's really just one last game, and I already told you that I grabbed this. So there's this little game called Dark Souls.